I am Ann-Peggy Divine. Welcome to the Divine Design, the podcast where we unfold heaven on earth and reframe spirituality and theology for a new cosmic era. Your journey on human evolution and integration of your divine design starts here. Welcome, Tony. I am guided. You have this concept, I am guided, Tony, and that's amazing. So I just let the word to you to this Divine Design podcast.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I Am Guided was originally a name that I created because I was seeing that I personally missed some guiding in my life, and also I saw that young people had too many options and was easily getting into different kind of traps. So if I could create a platform where they could go in and study the most basic and the most fundamental core categories of life, like sleep, activity, partnership, relationships, economy, and just and the platform says that if you master these categories, then you will create a life of wealth, because you cannot be rich and not have these principles, or you cannot go anyway without these principles. So if we can have a joy in studying things like food or in studying sleep, then we will get so much more out of life. And then we can also see that if you get better sleep, you get better at activity. If you get better activity, everything builds on each other.
Yeah, balance.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, and you are from Norway because we met 4 years ago in a retreat, actually. We just, because we haven't spoken for 3 years. It is actually 3 years since last time we spoke. So it's kind of, and you connected again and said, well, now I'm ready. So, and I see, wow, you are a different person. Something has happened with you the last 3 years.
Yes. And yeah, it feels very long. It's like felt like we spoke yesterday. So that's strange. And I also know that we had a difficult topic at that point, but it was also right after having the retreat, and we both felt a new life that was coming. And since then, yes, a lot of things have happened, and um, yeah, and I just have had to, like, I have been more like embracing God, or giving me to God, because yeah, it's like I've tried always to decode life and to understand life, but
Yep.
like you can't describe a color, for example, to a person that is blind. So it's like there are so many things that we can't control, so we have to give in. And this is where I'm at today, where I'm struggling with finding out, like, um, where is my lead, and where is God's lead, and where are the other people messing up in my life, or whatever, so I'm still like, yeah, I don't feel like I've figured out anything. Almost feels like worse in a way, but also better.
But you are in the midst, or yeah, in the midst of the hero's journey. I speak a lot about the hero's journey. And when we started, you were in the dying part, because what's happened when we go into the hero's journey, it is the old is dying. So because we spoke when we had a podcast, we did it on Norwegian, and we spoke about suicide and this old pattern. And this is, it feels like we are dying. So the hero's journey, what is the most difficult about the hero's journey is the old part of us is dying, and that is kind of, it is pain on our body, and we feel confusion and all this kind of, what is this, what is happening to me. So when we met, you were in the beginning of this phase, and now you have given yourself more and more over, as you have said. So you have a new way, but maybe you aren't totally true, if that's what you say.
Yes, yes. Yeah, it is. It is. It's like if I'm going back to where we were when we got into the retreat, then we were in a tribe setting. Everybody was being heard.
Yeah.
We were connecting with life force and birds and whatever, it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like so rich. And yeah, then we go back to this society, and I mean, my partner, she's also like very, um, she has a lot of knowledge in this area of ayahuasca and this life force, but we are still living in the society. So we feel a little bit isolated sometimes in this system. Like we miss living together with other people. Um, but also for me as a father now, and her as a mother, and then it's important for me to have control, or to know how to raise a child, and to know how to set boundaries and how to have respect in the relationship, but I also want to let go and surrender.
Yeah.
But it feels like I can't do it, because if I do that, then life completely take over, and there is no boundary. So yeah, so it is like I'm in in a little bit of a confused place, but I have that daughter, I have a home, I have a place, we have some, but yeah, so
But you
so,
you have you have a new god in your life, and your god is your daughter. So she
yes.
she is the boss. When you have a baby, this baby become the boss. And it, the kids these days are most often even more intelligent than we are. So she will teach you so much. I just felt it when we connected, and you said that I have become a father. So wow, you have gotten such a wise. Um, you said that I am guided, and she will guide you in another way that you can maybe you haven't kind of, it's not a planned way, but she will show you how to live differently. I know it with my whole heart that she will show you another way of meeting life. So she will open doors for you and your partner, because this is what the new children have said yes to. They are here to awaken us in a radical new way.
Hmm. Yes, 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 yeah, yeah, I completely agree with that, and I mean that was the intention as well when we started off, because we had the child, and then we found a home, a place in the woods, and we both, me and the mother, agreed that we were not going to tell anyone, not even our parents, where we were staying, because we wanted to have that place completely, like not even a spiritual energy on that place. So we were setting out to do that for 3 months after she was born, and yes, and that worked well. But then we started to invite a little bit people here and there, and then it started to happening like a little bit of things, and yeah, I was very happy. I was building like building a bathtub outside. I was building a shed outside from wood, and I was doing all the things that I felt like I was supposed to do. But then we had the system coming in as well, because uh, they have these things that they follow up the kids in the beginning of the years, and then they came in and they started to pick up on things that they wanted to know more about, and they took us into each of our rooms individually and separated me and the mother. So then they know what to probably tell her as if she has been a little bit like tired of things, and she probably also has a lot because she had been carrying weight and I was the father. But yes, the mother should have known that this was my purpose, this was my thing, to have this place, to have but things happen like that, and then suddenly people were following her that she should maybe find a place for her own, and they supported that, and then we went into this called Meckling, and then she had 100% of the kid, and then she got the resources and the money, and me as a father was sort of like cut off from both my kid and also going into this breakup, and also having all of the society and friends and relationships that was built up was witnessing all of that. So I lost my dignity, my value, and my foothold.
Wow.
So now she's living like with her daughter in a beautiful place that I also designed in my mind. And but yeah, and I had to take like a detour and figure out how to live at least close to my daughter. But now it's this like power dynamic between me and the mother, and like each time there's an issue, there's also like a punishment. So then we go into silent treatment or stuff like that. So of course I would like to conquer this, but I know that it takes to speak about it. It takes to go another way, to have alliances that care about us and not that want to divide us. Because I also have to say this, that her mother and maybe her friends, they also wanted to take part in influencing her to take this choice, because that means more time with the kid. But if I'm there all the time, that means like they have to come into our house, into our you know so so it was a way to create more. Yeah, so it's a lot. It's like it's complex,
Wow,
but
Tony,
I
what you
think
are
it's
sharing.
important to.
Wow. First of all, my heart goes for you because what you are standing in, it is heavy because that goes directly into our heart. It's kind of because you actually tried to live the natural way. You started 3 months kind of doing the perfect start for your daughter. And I know the Norwegian system. I have felt them, and we have the child protector servers. They tried 3 times to take away my being a mother when my life kind of when I went into the hero's journey, because they said you are starting to get crazy because I changed my thoughts
I
and I
remember.
spoke about reincarnation and healing, and you are crazy. So they tried 3 times to take custody for my kids. And that's heavy. So I understand what you are going through, and it was so painful. I just cried. They are ruining people's lives. So what I hear is like, I feel so sorry for you, Tony, because that's hard. What you are in, it is hard.
Hmm. Yeah, but it's so good, and I remember that you spoke about this, and I remember that it was much more fresh for you. Even at that point, even though you had come out of it, it was still fresh. Where you were like, oh, are they right or wrong? But you have already written a whole book about getting from head to heart.
Yep.
But now I can see that you're standing firm,
Yep.
like completely. So that's yes, that's nice, but I also have to say this to just get everything off my chest, and that's that at the same time as they went into this um like misunderstanding, like this spiritual attack,
Yep.
having everybody against me. Then I also got the message that my father got cancer. So, and he's like my closest, like strong connection in my existence, you know?
Yeah.
And I remember I told my partner, but there was so much spiritual attention at that moment that there wasn't like it, like she didn't like follow up or be there, and also including my daughter and bringing her. But I forgive that, because I mean she has her own story, her own perspective, and if you go through that list, well, everybody could agree. And I know that she, of course, have carried a lot, and it wasn't meant for me to say, "Hey, no, you could also carry my father's cancer." But yeah, so it was like very much that happened like instantly, and it was also at Christmas. So it was like I was celebrating Christmas in at this very day, like it was the 24th of December, you know. So everything happened very quick, very rapidly, and it was all the things that mattered at the same time. And then I remember I started to play songs like actually Jesus songs, like take away the pride, take away the confusion, take away the, you know. And that, when I went into that and sang that song to people, it created a little bit of a more reuniting, or so it had some influence. um but so yeah, so yeah, but I feel very much hope speaking with you and also getting this off my chest, because I've tried therapist, I've tried everything, but it seems like everything is just making it even worse. But here it feels like it's much more room and wisdom, that it can be received, and it could be put into the soil, and it could also help other people that's in this situation.
Yeah. So you are actually, someone call it, as I said, the hero's journey, but you are also in a initiation period, because you are initiating to the new, I call it homo luminous, but someone call it the new human. You have heard a lot of people talking about we are becoming new humans. And then we have to go to a very hard phase. It is all old programming, the way we think, the way we have done it all the time. So all this is collapsing. So what I'm hearing from you is that all your old life is collapsing. And you say that you are good to surrender, and that's amazing. So when I was in this period, I surrender, and when I thought that I had surrender thousands times, I needed to surrender even more and more and more. And it was like, don't it ever, is it not enough, kind of? But it is, because we are so programmed. So the surrendering is actually to the stream, to the essence of us, the soul essence, because we are pure light, we are pure God. And the thoughts, it is actually because we think our life is supposed to be one way. But what we have taught at school, what we have taught all our life, it is condemning. It is kind of in hierarchy. You have to be at the top, that's the best. And we have been kind of very masculine and a leader at the top. But now we are going into homo luminous, and then our perception become like a circle, because it's no one above, no one under. We are all equal. Me and you are equal, and a beggar who's sleeping at the street is in the same circle as we. So we are going from this old paradigm of thinking, and and you feel the system, because the system is coming after you, and actually we know the best way for your daughter. They don't. So that's why I felt like when you told your story, it's like that happened for me too. They did it three times, and the third time, then I got my power and I said, no, I will show you. So I put them into the system, and I made, I don't know how many pages I wrote, and I put them back, and they did never attacked me again, because now I'm finished. They did it 3 times, and the last time I said, no, I have enough to. We have this fylkesman, or the statsforvalter. It is organization that is looking after El, and I put a lot of stuff to them and said that this is what the child protective system is doing to humans. They are destroying humans. So I put it to them, and then they stop. So, but we have it's so it's you need to, yeah. It also, when I go into it, it feels like you try to surrender, and at the same time, I think it is important for you also to put some boundaries, to be in your strength, because you have a unique strength, and your voice as a father, they hold your voice as a father down. They don't value it, and your daughter need your voice. She need you so much, and they are taking that away. So they are actually hurting your daughter more than they are helping her.
Yes. She's been so hurt by this.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like, and the only thing I can do is to be present in spirit.
Yeah.
But because if I let go, if I cut them off, if I cut my mother's action out and cut her out of my life, then it's like instant suffering for my daughter.
Yeah.
Because if I go away and I go into another like place, or with my spirit and stuff, or if I go through something hard, then she's connected to that. So we should really be close and be united, me and my daughter, and we
Yeah.
should have a language that's not spoken with words. It's like just a bond. But these things, they just strip it off, and think that it could be like that. But even her mother, even the mother, like, is a little bit ignorant to this. So, but I feel like she also knows these things. But it's also good for her to have the daughter 100%. So it's hard for her to weigh it up, because the good is so good. So how to why change the good for
Yeah.
something else? But I am the one that is suffering now, and then eventually my daughter will be suffering, and then after some years, then the mother will be suffering. But the feeling right now feels like a like it feels so good, because she has the new home, she has the new income, she has much time with the daughter. It's like she has attention from all of angles, her mother, her sisters, their friends, and the system supports her, so they all support. But I am cut off, and then, but that's also like some of the main source, the main fundament for the daughter and for the mother. But then also the mother has to like look at where she gets triggered.
Yeah.
But it's much easier to just say like, oh, this is, you do that wrong, you do this wrong, and that list can just go pile up. But that's the invitation, to stay in it together, to really like look deep into our eyes, to find those places that haven't been met, that is, or where we feel that we will pivot over and losing something, because we won't lose nothing. If we are a family, we have just something to gain, but
Yeah.
it can be hard to look into those things together as a family with intimacy, and to face it together. So it's easier to just go with the old ways and take all the things that comes with it.
Tony,
But yes, so
yeah, I appreciate so much what you are talking about, and you know that I have gone the same path. So it was so hard because they attack your value. If you are not thinking as the jantelop, to put it like, because it is a lot of jantelop, they know how it's supposed to be, and if you don't obey, they take your child, and we have an amazing system. We have a lot of good system in Norway, but they are programmed. So the system think, because this is what we call staten, the state, the government. So we have built system that the government knows more and better than us, but it doesn't. We that are linked to our children, we have a biological and an energetic connection, and that connection is so much more valuable than all system. So it is kind of and the government and the state is kind of taking it away from us. So you are pointing the same that I went through, and I have kind of, yeah, that was my hero's journey also. But it is so important to raise it, because we are not the only one. There are so many in the Scandinavian and particularly in Norway, because we know the Norwegian system. But we have to raise our voice and say this is not correct. So you are walking a path, and that you dare talking about it, it lifts, because I know that when this is heard to other persons, they will say, well, we have been in it together. The helsesøster or all the people that are working with kids, they think in specific ways, and they decide how our children are supposed to be programmed.
yes. Yes, and it's like it feels to me like every single thing that creates separation it's not good. It's like evil, but it's like feels like that's always the suggestion. Yes, well, if you have an issue, if you are arguing, well, then it's better for you to live separated, because and then they have this long list that the child should not go through a person parents fighting at home, or but the separation, everything that creates that separation is not where you find that unity. So if you find unity, then you will have maybe some tension at some point, but you have to, that's where the gold is.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I remember, for example, like for me, it was very obvious for me as a father when I was holding my daughter when she was what do you call it? Very, very small, like
Newborn.
2 months or 3 months or something. And I used to do this every night. Then I was holding her, and then she would end up like crying very much. But I knew in my heart and everything that this was a good thing. So I was almost like carrying her up through what do you call this, where you ride on Tivoli or something, you
Like a carousel.
roller coaster. So
Roller
it was
coaster,
like,
yeah.
yeah, it was like taking my daughter up this hill like this, and it was going like slow, 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 and then the crying was finally coming more and more until it was like burst open, and then it was like, whoa. Then when she had released, and she came into the best sleep like ever, because she could like get the dopamine, all these things that has built up through the day could release in that on my chest. But the mother at that point was a little bit afraid of the crying, because that meant that the baby was maybe afraid or didn't have a good, so she would always like step in right before the top, so she wouldn't have that going over and coming down at the landing point. And this is things that I've experienced very much with both, because that had to do with that she had something, like the mother had some gold to find in giving me the trust that I also have, like wisdom inside of my spirit as a father.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this was the mother's wound, but she was never able to meet it because she would then instead separate to solve to
Yeah.
solve it with separation.
Yeah.
But the goal was in the uniting at being at home, and then me as well. I had like things that could come up when we were close and united, but yeah, and it's really 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 tough to face things when you're in this union family, because it really you really have there is a lot of gold there. But separation is like never the solution, because that just it means like months of suffering instead of just dissolving it right there and then, and going through it instead of going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to say, but
The way you the
so.
way you explain it, you put it so nice, because through your story we see that our children is waking us up. They are really pushing the buttons for the mother and the father. So we think when we get children, we think, oh, we glorify it. I remember I glorify, oh, I look forward having kids, and having 5 kids, they were 5 different kids, and they shaped my foundation totally, all of them. And they help to wake me up, because I have worked with people that want children, but they never had children. But then I have said, well, they really woke me up, and I needed 5 children to really shake me awake. So enjoy your kind of, but because they really do, they shake us, because it is kind of an extension of our soul, of ourself, and it is kind of from heart to heart connection, soul to soul connection with our kids. And they they shake us, they shake our thoughts, they shake all the fundament we have. So, and you now, because of the system we live in, you live apart. But if you want in the future, I'm sure that you will find together, but that's up to you to decide. But you and your daughter and your partner, you have a soul contract, and what you do with it is up to you. But I what I hear is that all of you are in a hero's journey, kind of waking up to a new way of being.
mm, mm. Yes, yes. Um, yeah, yeah, and it can be brutal, that kind of that all of those things that are happening. So yeah, but if I could choose by myself, then I would choose to just be present, be together, and be at home from the very beginning, and look each other in the eyes, and hold around each other, and just don't make up a lot of stories, or go to Instagram or to YouTube, or to fill the mind with something, like, always just come back to be grateful for this little daughter, and but but yeah, I think it can really be brutal if you want or if you have a big mission. So maybe there is so much movement that it could be good to to have a little bit separation.
But
Who knows?
yeah, yeah. But I want to ask you a question. Before you knew that your daughter was on your way, she was coming into your life. You remember the way you thought about life. You were having some thought about life and everything, and then after you knew that, oh, I will be a father. Can you speak a little bit about the different Tony? Because I know that you was one Tony before you was a father and one in the beginning of being a father and then becoming a father. Can you tell us a little bit of that process?
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, it was a long process. I remember all the way since I was a kid. I was thinking like, oh man, I have such a good. I'm so good with kids, and I'm so good with with dogs, and I would do this different and that different if I was a parent, and I had all of those thoughts, but. Yes, and I went on with my life, and I came to to understand that I wanted to study like life. What is life? Like nurturing, sleep, and all of that. So this has always been my thing, and then it became ayahuasca, and it became massage therapy, and like these different things that I worked with. But and I tried to become rich, and I tried a lot of things, and yeah, it's like it all boils down to to feeling that the purpose of life is to be grounded, to be with a family, to share moments and stuff like that. So. Before I knew, I came to Nesodden, and I came into like a woods or a place where in the woods where this person were sort of teaching me, not saying it out loud, but teaching me about grounding and being with the trees and understanding and reading the ground and then this just came up more and more that when I was uh, this spiritual, or it was not how to say it. It was like when I was doing like a massage therapy for this person, and when I did it, then this girl came up like in the spirit when I closed my eyes, like a 9-year-old girl, and I just knew like, oh wow, I'm going to have a kid, or why is this kid here? And I talked to the person about this, and and she told me that it's in the field, like it's probably on the horizon. So yeah, so I didn't think very much more about it, and the 2 weeks later, I met a woman that appeared like 2 times on a row. So and I told her that I had a vision that I was going to have a daughter, and she had also had like a similar vision, and then we just everything just merged like this, and and we met another wise older woman, and she said she started to talk about names, and then she talked about Amina, that Amen means let it happen, but Amina means it has already happened. And we both looked at each other, and we just instantly knew that our daughter was going to be named Amina. And this was way before we had like the seed was sown or anything like that. So it was not because we were a little bit like Christian, so we didn't have no intimacies. We just got to know each other over time, but then we had when after like 6 7 months or later we saw that we were going to have a kid, and we started to tell our parents and people that we were going to have a girl, and everybody said like, no, you can't know that before you have taken the ultrasound. So yes, it's going to be a girl. We sure her name is Amina. And then then after a while she came, and it was a girl, and now Amina is here, which means it has already.
I
So that's
love it.
yeah. So it felt like God was, and yes, I have to say that as well. That I remember that I was in a really, really tough place. Like I was in a sort of like a vacuum before I met her, where I was like, I don't care, God, I don't want nothing in particular. Just I just want to be alone. Like, but I had this one prayer that another girl has told me, like, write down 5 things that matters to you. And then I said, like, I want a grounded home, I want a grounded partner and a loyal partner. I want like a it was like these 5 things, and then boom. So everything happened, and we got a home in the woods, and we had squirrels around, and we had all kinds of animals swirling around this place where we had Amina coming. So yes, and then it has been some trials and tribulations with the system and the government, who is always there, um, and our sort of idea has been always to stay strong and to choose each other.
Yeah.
But when the yeah, it's like strange how the system somehow get into and get people to speak, and then it becomes this living creature that is much bigger than ourselves. So
Yeah.
we have to forgive that part, but I hope that we just come back stronger together. My hope is to have this family and stand strong in our own core. And yes, but then we also have to figure out like things like economical stuff also, and also be off grid. So it's like there are so many things that has to be independent in order to not be easily flipped over by the system. Mm.
Yeah, and we are talking about the system, and then we understand that the system we have created, it is supposed to help us, but in the form it is now, it is not helping us. It is actually doing the opposite. It is damaging us. It is destroying kids. So
Yeah.
the most important about this conversation, because I have felt it, they were after, and I remember when one of the teacher to my kids said, oh, because it was something with my daughter, and said, well, if the child protective system come in, they will take your kids. We have seen so many cases, they take your kids. They are, you must
Yeah.
not let them come into this, because then you really get problems. And this is common known in Norway. We know that if we are seeking help, and if the child protective system comes, then we have lost already, because this is Goliath and David. So they are Goliath and we are the small David, and normally we lose because we have nothing to compare to Goliath, because the state can do whatever it wants. So this is the system. We
Yes.
think it is perfect, but it is not.
No, no, and this is the thing also, because if they can put a very much favor on one part, then and make the other a little bit weak,
Yep, they do.
then yeah, and often to the women as well, because then, well, the fruits feel so good. You have a daughter or a son, you have extra money, you have support, you have attention, you have socialization, you have all the things. And the man that was supposed to have a voice
Yep,
is like, and
yep,
if you try to speak up, you're met with maybe a video of how to be a divine masculine, or you're met with this and that, and why don't you have a job, or so
yeah,
you have to
yep,
defend yourself and use months and weeks and years to prove. that you're worthy, where you actually were supposed to already had the
Yeah.
authority. You were already given the
Yeah.
authority by God
Yeah.
to be the father
Yeah.
and to carry the home.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it's good to hear you say that and to speak about it, because it's like, yeah, it's like the first time since I've spoken with someone where I feel like it lands. But I also remember that the wise older woman who suggested, or who talked about the name Amina, she also said like, be careful about the barnevern or this, because they have like ruined our
Yeah.
place. Just you have to know what you go into. And
Yeah.
this was what happened, because the first thing they did when they sort of got us was that they put me and the mother in different rooms. So they said like, you are going to have meeting on Wednesday, and then you are going to have on Thursday, because it's important to hear both sides. But then you have the separation, and yeah, it's like. And I remember the first time we went into like a familietherapy
Yeah.
with
Family. Yeah. Yeah. Mm.
yeah. And I had like my foot down from the very first beginning, but I remember the mother said like, yes, let's do this, we can do this together, let's work together and hand by hand, and we're going to do this together. So I was like, okay, let's try to do that. But of course, but it's also like nothing I could do. I could say, or if I said like, no, let's not do it, and I created a reason for something to hide or something. So I had to be transparent. So it was like out of my control from the very beginning. And but what happened when we came into this familiar therapy was that the therapist just said like, the first thing she said was just like, okay, you are in what is called brudd. Brudd is like
Break up.
you have officially break up.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing, and then we were just going to go into the details of how to divide the kid in between us. So I was like, what? And I remember I said this right out in the meeting, like, because then I couldn't hold it anymore. I just said that, are we coming here to a familia therapy, family therapy, and the first thing we're discussing is like how to divide the kid and just accepting this, or shouldn't it be like we were working with how to understand each other better, how
Yeah.
to make this work, how to try a little longer. So I was just I had an expectation that this is not good, but I
Yeah.
was also 10 times more surprised.
Yeah.
And it was so it's very tough when you come into a room where
Yeah.
you feel that the person that you're speaking is not actually like 100% for you in spirit. So and this is few people, so that's why I'm saying I feel it here with you. And it's just so rare to find something like that. I've tried with my mother, with her mother, with my dad, with a therapist, with a private therapist, but it's all seems to not work out. And yes, so it's um, yes, but it's like, I know that if the mother was able to see everything from my view and my perspective, then she would already be as one with me. It wouldn't be a hesitation at all, not a single millisecond. There wouldn't be no hesitation. But this is why we have wise people over us that can help us, that are grounded, that have our best interest as a family. that can really speak into the wounded place of the mother and the wounded place of the father, and to unite them.
Yes.
But
Yes.
this is not what we are finding
No.
uh, any. So we haven't found this yet.
No. So for me, it feels like we have to do more podcasts because as your daughter grows older, and your story, I had accepted the same thing happened to me and my husband, and it was the opposite because you said that most often they favor their mother, yes, but in my case they favor the father because they saw me as becoming crazy because I, as I said, speak about healing, I speak about spirit, I spoke about the other side. So they saw me as crazy. I had turned crazy. So they wanted to give the custody only to the father and tried to split us. So we experienced the same as you and your partner. So this was interesting. They put us in several different days, exactly the story you said. So we have been to it, and it is difficult because it is your child and they ruin your life. You pull. So yeah, so I'm so glad that you speak about this, Tony, because this is a big issue in Norway, and I'm sure it is in other countries also, because they divide us. In several systems they divide us. They take the pureness, the secretness of us, the bond, and the most valuable of all, they rip it apart. So this is so crazy and it is so wrong. So I'm so glad that you are open to share it, because I know that so many will resonate with it in different layers. I'm sure.
Hmm. Yeah, and it's interesting to hear that they favored the man in your case, and that it was different, but it was the same dynamics where they have like one is favor and one is like out of the picture. So because that creates the wound. So and when you are in suffering, like in severe suffering, then of course the father will be in severe suffering,
Yep.
and also the kids. So
Yeah.
if you can just strip out one and favor one, then yeah, you have it. So yeah. So that's where what we're missing. Like yeah, to not strip away like a person's dignity or right or stuff like that. So but try to find that things. But yeah, it couldn't be easy for the system as well. So I don't know. It's like it's always so complex.
It is. But we just need to put out another voice that it is possible to do it differently. And have you heard about the term Ubuntu?
Yes, I've heard about it, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
far.
It is in,
Yeah,
and
what
yeah,
is it again?
it is in Africa, and it is a you are another me, and they raise each other, so they listen to each other. They don't have a government saying like we take a system taking it out. So we we co-create in a beggar. So we don't do as we do in the Western system, just put it out and see it in one perspective. They are in big tribes helping each other and co-creating, and with the mothers and fathers, it kind of 10 mothers and 10 fathers, we co-create. We know that we are all in it together. So your child is kind of my child because I'm your neighbor, and we live in the same village. So kind of we help each other, and we see all children as children of Mother Earth, and kind of the same foundation, and we help each other, not that a system come in and decide what to do. So they have a much big broader perspective and help each other. They are much more connected, and they from soul to soul. It's from heart to heart, not from kind of the ego from the ego. We are more in the West, and it's from ego to ego, and they are from soul to soul.
Hmm. Yes. So yeah, but it a lot has happened since last time, and yeah, it brings a lot of hopes seeing you, and also seeing the values that is behind you, full of colors and freedom, and I can see love, and I can see some, yeah, so I can see a pregnant mother there.
Yeah, it is Mother Earth. It is the new Mother Earth. Ooh. And when I was initiated, they showed me this is the new Mother Earth. So we are boarding the new Earth. So I just had to. So this was when I was initiated, when I got my name Divine. So they said this is the symbol of your name, Divine.
That is so true.
So it was kind of okay. I needed to board, but so it's So this is what we are going towards. But yes, but
Yes. Yeah.
But Tony, I must say thank you so much for being so honest, and because I know I felt you when you shared. I felt you, so it was almost, if I went deeper into it, I would start crying, because this is deep. It is really deep. So, and you say also you are in the midst of it, so you sharing it in the phase you are in, it is. Thank you so much. It is big. It is. I know it is big.
Thank you very much, Ann-Peggy. It's
And I'm here for you, Tony. I will co-create. I will help you. So I'm here for it. So thank you so much for being in the podcast. But we will co-create in the backside.
yes. Thank you so much, Ann-Peggy. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Tony. For the rest of 2026, I am offering 8 free gifts every week, starting week 33. Every week, 8 people will receive a free 13-minute attunement session, a part of Ask Divine. This is the session where something shifts, because you finally meet the part of yourself that has been waiting to be heard. To qualify, you can do one or both of the following. Share Field Readings newsletter with 3 people. You will find it at anpeggydivine.com or waldsmerts.se under Join Field Readings. Or share 1 or 2 of my weekly videos on your Facebook or Instagram timeline. Then let me know. Send me a DM on Messenger or Telegram, or write in the Facebook group Ask Divine. Every Friday I drew 8 names. If you are one of the 8, you will receive a private DM from me on Friday with your personal booking link. Sessions take place on Sundays and Mondays on Zoom, and you will receive your Zoom link from me the day on your session. Didn't make it this week? You're automatically in the draw again next week. The link to attunement session and Ask Divine is below. I'll see you there. Thank you for listening to the Divine Design podcast with Ann-Peggy Divine. Join us next Sunday for another Heaven on Earth unfolding conversation. With grace, reverence, and unity, may the path of your divine design light the way. From the divine in us to the divine in you.